Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports, where, as you might have guessed it, we go over everything that happened this week in Philadelphia sports. Again, if you're new to this channel, guys, and you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, it will mean the absolute world to me if you could. And if you enjoy this sort of content, leave a like and of course drop your comments down below with opinions on everything discussed in today's video. But before we get on to the preseason though, guys, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to anyone who tuned in to the live stream on Thursday night. For those unaware, what we did was a live watch along. We had my reaction. You can see my reaction to Clayton Thorson here.
Win for here. Did he just... You can't overthrow Ward that much. No, he did not overthrow Braxton Miller by that. I think he did. I think the ball sailed on him.
And essentially the idea, if you're watching the game live, you've got an alternate commentary stream filled with a live chat of Eagles fans, and if you can't watch the game, then you get the next best thing, something where you can win prizes, you get live game analysis, and a chance to talk it up with Eagles fans in the community. And I honestly broke down in tears after that game. I had this plan a year ago, and at the time that first stream had about 13 viewers. To come a year later and put so much in, like I poured my heart and soul into that broadcast for 4 hours straight. It was the most fun I've had on this YouTube channel. So we will be back at it again Thursday night, Eagles Jaguars preseason. I hope to see you there. If you can't watch the Eagles preseason game, if you don't know how to, if you just want to come along for the fun, we will be there all night long from half an hour before kickoff to around 10 minutes afterwards, bringing you everything you need about preseason. But from the bottom of my heart, honestly, a massive thank you to every single one of you who showed up and left a comment in the chat. There were over 10,000 of you. It's frankly mind-blowing. So just thank you for making that a reality. I promise it's only going to get bigger and better, and we will have post-game shows for every regular season game moving forward. We're going to kick things off though with perhaps the most obscure part of today's video, and it's not the fact that we've got a new backdrop Phillies jersey, which is just an old backdrop because the other shirt's in the wash. But it's indeed the fact that I'm sat here wearing a Sam Bradford jersey, something which I promised to do during the live stream on Thursday night. We will get to that in due course. So A, not only is it proving that I do indeed have a Sam Bradford jersey, one of the very few people on the planet that do at this point, but B, showing that I'll never forget what made Philly Sports Network what it is, never forgetting what gave it that first kick. And this is oddly apt because during Thursday night's preseason loss to the Tennessee Titans, the Eagles lost their backup quarterback Nate Sudfeld to a broken wrist injury. He landed very awkwardly. Nate Sudfeld's injury was set to sideline him for 6 weeks, which naturally brought up conversation around the Eagles quarterbacks. Carson Wentz didn't play any preseason snaps on Thursday. Cody Kessler looked serviceable. He had a nice little Manziel moment, spinning his way out of danger. And Clayton Thorson was disastrous. I mean, absolutely disastrous. To the point, I think the only thing more disastrous than going 2 for 9 and throwing a wide open screen pass into the dirt was my first ever relationship at age 14, where after spending all of my pocket money on taking her to see Harry Potter at the cinema, she dumped me over Windows Live Messenger. You just can't beat true romance. But I think it's that last bit, not the true romance part, that spurs the conversation of should the Eagles look for a veteran quarterback. I think you can absolutely get by with Cody Kessler and Clayton Thorson. It'll probably do Thorson the world of good to get him some snaps, but the worry is, of course, that he's going to hamper those around him, that he is going to stagnate growth. If you look at Donnell Pumphrey, a guy who has struggled throughout his career, had a chance to make a massive play and put himself on the map. Instead, his career stays about as relevant as every X Factor winner ever. A lot of people are going to clamour for Carson Wentz to get preseason time. Others will clamour for him to stay as far away from the preseason field as possible. My argument would be is he's your starting quarterback. He's being paid a ridiculous sum of money. He should be able to manage a drive or two in preseason. Now, I understand the urgency to get him out of the game and pull him out, but it's also unfair to keep him sidelined in the fear that he may get injured. If you're that scared of him getting injured in preseason, you must be shaking and quaking and terrified the second he walks out in week number 1, because God forbid he goes down in week 2. The truth is the Eagles are going to go as Carson Wentz goes. But as far as finding a backup, I do think Cody Kessler is serviceable. He's made 17 starts, he was a 3rd round pick, and he's already shown that he can game manage and push his way down the field. Now, it just comes down to snap share. I don't think the arguments for Colin Kaepernick are valid. I understand that he's trying to get back into the league, and he's playing the social media angle, the timing of this when the Falcons have a QB injury, the Eagles have a QB. Like, he's playing it very well. It's a very good plan by Kaepernick to start posting those videos out. And then there are guys like Sam Bradford, who's familiar with the scheme, who would also probably charge you $80 million thanks to Drew Rosenhaus and his wizarding agency ways. But other than that, there just aren't many quarterbacks out there. You've got Luis Perez, who of course, former AAF graduate, was under the Rams at one point, was on the Eagles and very promptly off the Eagles again. And then you've got Brocktober. Yeah, because Brock Osweiler is, I mean, it's bad. Let's not go there. If the Eagles do bring in a quarterback, I think it would be an undrafted free agent. But my argument would be, you've got Braxton Miller and Greg Ward Jr., two receivers who are vying to make the roster. And I made a video on this very channel before about why the Eagles could be the next team to experiment with that Taysom Hill Wildcat kind of quarterback. And why not? It clearly works for the Saints. It takes pressure off Drew Brees. And both are very dynamic players who have proven themselves as both signal callers and now receivers, so why not? If you're already down to two quarterbacks, what is the actual harm in getting those receivers and saying, hey, you guys want to make the team? Your chances are 50-50 right now. Greg Ward's been here 3 seasons. If you can go the extra mile and prove you're willing to go the extra mile for that team, then why not? But if Clayton Thorson's performance wasn't so icy cold and risking stagnating everyone around him, we wouldn't be having this discussion. In fact, it was that cold he may have needed one of our exclusive Philly Sports Network flight tag hoodies, which you can get at the link in the description below. We've also got pink t-shirts and lots of long sleeves and goodies you can get down there to wear and look as cool as me, which isn't cool at all, but it's a thought that counts. I think we've spoken a lot about preseason, of course, with the content on this channel and at phillysportsnetwork.com, so I don't want to harp too much about it because it's going to spoil the rest. We've got 2 more film rooms coming out between now and next Thursday, so stick around for those, and of course, the training camp diaries as well. And I don't want to be repeating myself here, that's no fun for you guys. The other thing I will say, though, is that with Lane Johnson and Dallas Goedert being kept on the sideline with injuries until the end of preseason, it gives a massive opportunity for Jordan Mailata, who played the bulk of snaps at right tackle, didn't look too bad. He settled in as obviously the lower string guys stepped up and started to challenge him, as he could rely more on that athletic frame. But I do think the Eagles may go after a tight end because Richard Rodgers is still inconsistent with injuries. They're not going to want to risk Zach Ertz in preseason, and if Goddard is out, that leaves Josh Perkins and Alex Ellis. It would not surprise me if they go out and get another tight end, even if it is an undrafted free agent. But to save repeating myself, I'll do a very, very quick preseason up-down rundown just to fill you guys in. Mark and Michelle was great. Alex Singleton has special teams ability. Shelton Gibson's injured. That's going to hurt him. Mac Hollins is coming back, but we don't know what that's going to provide. Eric Barnett is working out with the ones again. Rodney McLeod is working out with the ones again, but almost took an injury. Didn't take an injury. Now he's okay. Andrew Sandejo, Jonathan Cyprian, both played very well. Both might make the roster. Counter suffered a leg injury. Could push player A, player B a little bit higher up the depth chart. LJ Fort, who of course shares my nickname, wore a tinted visor, which automatically means he is a baller. Went out and just basically killed a man for fun, and now has a strong chance of making the roster. Deshaun Hall is very good at football. There is a video on this channel that shows just how good at football he really is. The running backs didn't exist. The offensive line couldn't run block. Stefan Wisniewski could be in jeopardy because he can't stop snapping a ball below 78 feet in the air. Ronald Darby's back in the mix, but if I'm Rasul Douglas, I'm a little bit annoyed if he starts taking my place on the depth chart because I've been very good this offseason. The Eagles play the Jaguars next Thursday. They've got training camp practices between now and then. You can catch it all here on Philly Sports Network. Woo! Okay, I mean, I basically just turned into Eminem rap god level there. On to the Sixers though, and they bring in big man Roy Hibbert to be a development coach, a move which I think is going massively underrated. If you look at the way the Sixers are building this team, they bring in Al Horford, you've got Joel Embiid getting bigger and better every year, and eventually you're going to want to try and build that youth behind them, the guys who can really train themselves on the defensive side of the ball. Having Hibbert around to knock around with, to play some pickup games and just really reap wisdom from is invaluable. The 2013-2014 all-defensive second team, that was a mouthful, player was known for being an absolute defensive stalwart, just a mammoth on the defensive end. I think the Sixers are really going to benefit from his presence. On to the Phillies, who are now 4th place in the NL East. That's going well. That could be going better. I don't think it could go better. The offense is about as consistent as a bowl of porridge right now. You never know what to expect. 1 minute Bryce Harper is hitting balls so far. Oh, wait a minute. What's that? Oh, whoa! I think I just caught one in my eye. It's just landed. It's just gone over the state, and then there are other times he literally can't hit the ball. Even after a massive bomb that flew into the ocean against the Giants on Friday, he was still hitting .252 on the season. It's been frankly underwhelming for Bryce Harper. But I think at this point it has to fall on the management staff. Like, you've got the talent there. I don't know what the thought process was in sending Adam Hasseley back down to the minors to call up Jay Bruce. You bring in Corey Dickerson, who was assumed to come in, fill that role and have Jay Bruce maybe go on the bench and be some extra depth, and instead you send down one of the most productive offensive players you've got. He was hitting .274 / .315 / .452. I almost did that without looking down. It's like Matrix numbers, if I'm brutally honest. So I don't know what the Phillies are doing. They've got a game today against the Giants. Hopefully they can get themselves back on track. But it's not looking pretty. It's not looking pretty. I mean, this has turned from what was going to be one of the most explosive seasons possible, landing Bryce Harper, a strong off-season, the breakout of Pivetta and Aaron Nola, and it's turned into, frankly, it's like you get home, your parents have been shopping, you think you're going to get some nice big bottles of Coca-Cola, you open the fridge, and it's called, like, Roller Cola, and it's not the real Coca-Cola, it tastes like acid, and you've got to put up with that for the next week because that's all they had. That's this team. It's still Coca-Cola, but it's awful. You can't handle that. Just where's the Coke? Philadelphia Flyers did nothing. Again. Come back, hockey, please. And the Philadelphia Union remain at the top of the Eastern Conference after a stunning 5-1 win over DC United. But of course, the main talk of that game was the fact that Alejandro Bedoya, after a goal, ran over to a microphone and did a massive political statement, begging to end gun violence, to make a change, to stop it now. And for me, what a message to send. Like, we stand a king. To use that in the heat of the moment, of scoring a goal, a pivotal goal in what is becoming a title charge for this team, to get out, pick up a microphone, knowing it's connected to a television and the PA, and make a statement like that. What a guy. Like, that is huge. Massive, massive, massive amounts of respect to Alejandro Bedoya. And the Union are back in action tonight. They're playing the Houston Dynamo at 6 PM. And if you're already watching this video after 6 PM, we're going to assume they've won and go, the Union have won! If they haven't, it's a bit awkward now. So, sorry about that. Thank you so much for tuning in. That is another episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like, drop a comment, hit subscribe. I'm just kind of flopping everywhere right now. If you did like it, then don't. From myself, Liam Jenkins, you can follow me on Twitter at Liam Jenkins PSN. I'll see you next time.